Wanted to show you this Prager University video that's talking about the bravery deficit. And it's this idea that conservatives just need to be brave, and everyone's out there trying to shame them and make them feel bad for their beliefs. The video, as is similar to other Prager University videos, it is full of contradictions, it's full of inaccuracies, it's full of generalizations. It has Rubin, I think it's Dave Rubin from the Rubin Report. It used to be on Young Turks. Let's go ahead and watch it and you can see what I'm talking about.
Do you watch Fox News with your finger on the back button in case someone enters the room? Do you methodically clear your browser history to erase all evidence of PragerU videos? Do you hide your subscription to the Ben Shapiro podcast? Or, and perhaps most dangerous of all, are you afraid of getting caught watching the Rubin Report, which is hosted by the very scary but quite dapper Dave Rubin? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then you're in the political closet and it's time to come out. Here's the good news. If you currently reside in the United States of America, you live in the freest country in the history of the world. Beyond some basic limitations, you can do whatever you want and, with hard work, become whatever it is you want to be. Pretty great, ain't it? So why the long face? Because you know that something is out of whack. You really don't feel free to say what you want, or share your true thoughts on Facebook, or even associate with those you'd like to. And why is that? I'll tell you why. Because there's a mass affliction spreading throughout the Western world. It's called the bravery deficit. People, good people like you, are afraid to say what they think. And there's little wonder. Believe that men can't give birth? Congrats, you're a transphobe. Want people to keep more of what they earn because they know how to spend it better than the government does? Bravo, you're a greedy capitalist. Understand that the gender pay gap is because men and women often choose different professions and different hours, not because of rampant sexism? Hooray, you're a misogynist. Take the wrong side of any hot-button issue and your reputation, your friends, and your job can all be lost in an instant. You will likely never get a chance to confront your accusers, most of whom are anonymous. And you may feel forced to issue a faux apology to save yourself, which, by the way, it usually won't. The understandable temptation is to think that this politically correct madness will soon end, just die out on its own. Well, it won't. Activists and their mainstream media allies like the New York Times and CNN, propaganda outlets like Media Matters and the Southern Poverty Law Center, and your local university will make sure of that. Big tech with its control of search algorithms, its shadow banning and deboosting are also in on the game. If you're one of the people who believes that if you just remain quiet, that things will get better, well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're a frog in a slowly boiling pot. And it doesn't end well for the frog. So what can you do? Believe it or not, the solution is not that hard. Step 1, think for yourself. Step 2, say it out loud. Just because a former bartender says the world is going to end in 12 years because of climate change doesn't mean it's true. Doomsdayers have been saying the same thing for decades, and we're still here. Just because a filmmaker says we should model our healthcare system on Cuba's doesn't mean it's a good idea. Would you rather have heart surgery in Houston or in Havana? And just because a career politician is a millionaire with 3 houses who rails against the rich doesn't make him a hypocrite. Oh wait, in that case it actually does. The point is, perhaps your most important job as a human being is to stand up for the things you believe in. Don't take the path of least resistance. Be better than those who would silence you, deplatform you, and mob you. How? Just stop being afraid. The mob depends on the fact that everyone is scared to say what they think. Don't give them that power. All of the successes of America and the Western values that gave birth to America are being eroded as we speak. We can't just blame Hollywood, the media, and the political establishment any longer. It's time to look in the mirror. Think of the bravery of your grandparents and your ancestors before them who undoubtedly had it far worse than you do today. If they were brave, then you can be brave too. It's time to come out of the closet, the political one. You are the solution to the bravery deficit. So what are you waiting for? I'm Dave Rubin, author of Don't Burn This Book, Thinking for Yourself in an Age of Unreason, for Prager University.
This video was made possible through a generous donation from the HN and Francis C. Berger Foundation.
Thank you for watching this video. To keep PragerU videos free, please consider making a tax-deductible donation.
So much that I want to unpack from that video. So he talks about these propaganda outlets. He's talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center, CNN. Okay, understand that Prager University is just straight propaganda. It is funded by the billionaires. They're trying to convince people of ideas that will benefit them financially. They focus a lot on things like these kind of fringe social issues that a lot of people on the left really aren't that passionate about. They don't care that much about them. Notice that he said that if conservatives speaks out and they're loud about their beliefs, they can lose their job. But they don't mention that that can happen with liberals in conservative areas. You have college professors that the students will literally sometimes try to run out, try to get fired. The John Birch Society used to literally videotape people. Talked about how the rule one is to think for yourself. Okay, so do we actually believe that, like, oh, it's those that watch Fox News? Those are the true critical thinkers, not the philosophy students, not the people that are studying psychology and learning about biases, people that are learning about history and forming political opinions based on history. No. The really enlightened ones are the Alex Jones info warriors, the Fox News enthusiasts. Those are the really smart people that are learning to think for themselves. Those people don't think for themselves. Does anyone actually think for themselves? In order to think for yourself, you actually have to have background knowledge. They slam universities, even though that's the best place to actually gain good, objective, peer-reviewed background knowledge. Dave Rubin is a jerk when he talks about AOC, or he shows like the kind of cartoon version of AOC. He says, should you listen to a bartender? Okay, what about all the professors that actually say that climate change is real? No, they just attempt to dismiss them. They just focus on AOC because she did 10 bars, which, by the way, she has, I believe it's a master's degree in economics. She has some type of economics degree. Talks about Bernie Sanders being this great big hypocrite. Okay, whether you like Bernie Sanders or not, understand he's not this crazy rich person. He has a net worth around $2 million. Like, yeah, he's well off, but someone can be like a millionaire without being like crazy wealthy. Understand there's a huge difference between Bernie Sanders and like the Koch brothers, who had a net worth, I think a combined net worth of 100 billion or so. They're not even in the same league. The Koch brothers literally have like 10,000 times the wealth that Bernie has, or close to 10,000. Maybe it's 5,000, but they have a way crazier amount of wealth. Like, it's a funny argument that they try to make. Like, Bernie Sanders is such a hypocrite. He has 3 houses and he talks about wealth inequality. Do you think that Bernie's talking about the people that have net worths of like 500,000 to 2 million? Those people are not able to rig a political system. They're not able to buy off politicians. Like, these people get to live like a comfortable life with their families. They're not going to pass down so much wealth to their kids that their kids will just be able to do whatever they want, like the Kochs. And then at the end, when he talks about like his book and says, "Don't burn this book." I don't know if he's making some reference to like back in Germany when they burn books. Like, he's a joke. Like, Dave Rubin is a straight up joke. It's a political hack. Go and look up what Anna Kasparian says about him. At one point, he was this really progressive guy, and he used to talk about how he needed to make more money. And then all of a sudden, oh, big surprise, once he goes conservative, he makes money. Same thing with Dinesh D'Souza, Rush Limbaugh, all of these people. They can make a lot more money, generally, promoting conservative views, because conservative views are held by who? Oftentimes the billionaire class, the richest people in the nation. It's the richest people in the nation that are pushing these ideas out there. They want Social Security to be dismantled. They want us to continue to spend a ridiculous amount when war. Understand, like, the hosts of the Young Turks, like they might be comfortable, but they're not making near as much money as some of the top like conservative talking heads. There's just not as much money. Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, they're not making off like bandits. Kyle Kalinske, like if they do fine for themselves, they have a lot of viewers, like a lot of people like them, but they're not bringing in billionaire donors. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. There'll be more coming out on history, politics, more critiques of Prager University videos. Thanks for watching.